My name's Devon Wright. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Turnstyle Solutions. And just a bit about me, I'm from Whitby. I am certainly a crazy cat lady trapped inside of a man's body. And I'm a singer and songwriter for a band called Natural Animal. It was in that band that I actually came up with the idea for Turnstyle Solutions. Turnstyle Solutions, we were trying to solve a problem. How do we connect with our fans at our shows, our live shows? And so we came with a location-based marketing solution that uses Wi-Fi to connect to your mobile device, track how many shows you came to, and give you rewards basically for being a great fan. That's grown quite a bit. But as when we founded it in June, I think of what, 2012, and I was at the time taking Second City, a little bit of serendipity, because it just so happens that improv is a lean method for developing a new plot, character, or scene that the audience will like, which is what a startup is. It is just a lean method of finding a product that the market will like. And so a lot of the lessons that I learned at Second City happen to be very, very useful for me running a business, and I want to give you some of those. I'll move fast. The first one, and I'll actually, Ben, I have time because I went through that fast. I'm going to do something with Bennett here, okay? Dad.
Calm down, son. Cut the grass.
Okay, but Mom's got her bags packed and she's leaving us right now. Bam. What we did there is we set a who, a where, and a what. I said, Dad, and he, bam, I'm the son, he's the dad. We set the where. He just said, I'm in the backyard. And then the what? A big problem. Oh my God, Mom is leaving us. If you haven't set a who, a where, a what in your business today, in your team today, and building a product today, you're going to fail. And Second City, the very first three things you'll ever see these guys do is they set the who, the where, the what. The who in startups is your role. Who's the CEO? Who's the CMO? Who's the product leader? Who's the developer? And you may be able to get by at like 10 and 15 people without an org chart, without roles. When you get to 20 people or more, you're dead. You better set your roles on day one. If you haven't done that, do that right now. Where? The where is the environment. He said, I'm in the backyard. Boom. Now I know I can't be in the basement. If I'm the son, I better be getting a lawnmower, and that's important. So that's important, and in your business, you got to do the same thing. If you haven't set that you guys are going after the retail market versus the QSR market, if you haven't set that you're working on offline versus online, you guys are dead. You got to set the where right away because it gives your team focus. And more importantly, you got to set the what. The what's the purpose? If you guys don't have a purpose in your play, as you see what I did there, I said, Mom's leaving. Boom. That's a problem. We better solve that in today's play, and everyone is here to watch me solve that. And everyone in your team and your customers are here to watch you solve the what. If you haven't set the purpose for your business, purpose is your currency. People work for you because of your purpose. They don't work for you for cash. So you better find that. You better set that fast. The yes and, how do we get people to buy into our companies? How do we work well together? In Second City world, it's called a yes and. A yes and is the most powerful thing you can do in your life, let alone your companies. And what I'm saying is best entrepreneurs in the world, just like the best actors in the world, they don't have the best ideas. In fact, what they do better than anybody is foster an environment where the best ideas can rise to the top. And you do that through constant iteration of a process called the yes and. The yes is listening. Bennett, I said to him, Dad, bam, he said, I'm the dad. He made me the son. That's great. If he had said, I'm not the dad, I'm the mom, you'd all be like, what an asshole, why would he do that? And I would be like, what an asshole, why would he leave me hanging like that? I have my own idea. He was the dad. In your own teams, in your own relationships, think when you're talking to people, honestly, you never realize how much you say no to people's ideas until you stand up on a stage and improv. And in your own teams, the best thing you can possibly do is called yesing. Listen to people, trust people, take their ideas and run with it. And by running with it, what you're doing is called anding. When someone gives you an idea, you don't go, great idea. He said, I said, Dad, and he didn't go, yes, son, what now? He said, no, don't bother me, I'm in the backyard. He set in the environment. He did anding, he contributed. Yes to my idea, contribute a new idea, be confident with your new idea, be decisive. In startup world, that's the key to building a good scene. Or in improv world, that's the key to building a good scene. In startup world, that's the key to building good relationships. People want to work with people who are yesers. People want to work with people who are anders. Do that. When you want to figure out what the good ideas are, don't sit there and do things like try and come up with all the ideas together. You got to listen to your audience in improv. If, all of a sudden, if I want to pull out the gun on him and you guys all start laughing, bam, pulling out the gun's a great idea. If you're not laughing, man, whip out a bazooka, try something new, see if I can get the audience to laugh. In startup world, the audience is your customer. Laughter is money. If the customer's paying you, great idea. If the customer doesn't pay you, abandon. Pull out a bazooka, try something new. And that honestly is it. If the audience doesn't laugh, it doesn't matter. And so another great example of this is you don't have a product in startups. Just like in the second city world, you don't have any props. Don't get scared if you don't have a product. Don't get scared if you don't have props. I just said it. You can pull out a gun. No one laughs. Wait a minute, I got a bazooka. No one laughs. Wait a minute, I got a penguin. You can do anything you want. And you have no idea how many times in the Turnstyle world, we actually were in meetings being like, what's your problem? Yeah, no problem. We got a product for that. And we run home, be like, we don't have a product for that. Let's build the product for that. But you'd rather build the product when you know that it gets the audience to laugh than to buy the prop and show up with a gun and nobody wants to see it. So that's it. Time is up. Last thing, man, just have fun. And the reason being, and I'm just going to abuse my time because it's important, don't go on stage because, if we do this today, everyone's going to laugh. No, you're not doing that. You're building products and you're building companies because it's fun. That way, if you fail, at least it was worthwhile. Don't do the if-then model. If we sell, if we get acquired, then it was worth it. Everything's got to be worth it because you're on stage. The moment you're having fun, everything gets easier. Hiring, selling, everything you do. That's the end. Sorry I went over. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, we do questions. Oh. I selfishly put my own email there. I should have put the Twitter handle for the business or something. I'm trying to get famous. It's question time. Oh, I see it. Go. Yeah, I have. So he asked me if I'd read the book Start With Why. Simon Sinek?
Or the YouTube video.
Or watched the YouTube video, which would have been a TED Talk. Luckily, I got to see him speak live. You know what? I should have said who, where, why. Why is like a super important question to answer. And often if you say what, you confuse yourself about what you're doing. Like we're building wireless technology to help people connect their phones to the networks around them. You're right. I think why is a better word. And if I had to go back, I would have said why. Why is a more important way to phrase the what question. What's your problem? Cool, I know your problem. Why are you solving it? Why are you committed to solving it? That's a better way to go about it. In the startup world, and actually I'll go tell Second City, who, where, and why. That's awesome. Thank you. Good question. Yeah. The audience, if the audience doesn't laugh, it's a bad idea. Do another one. If the customer's not buying your product, it's not a good idea, man. It might be a good idea to everyone here. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, people have to pay you because you got to pay that guy who's going to come in, like, even if it's just a small amount of money. That's the filter for everything in the startup world. If a customer doesn't pay you, it's not a good idea. Another one. All right. Sweet.